Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to give you 10 latest defense updates. Number 1, DRDO's 122 rocket awaits Army clearance. 4 years after its triumphant test firing, the Defense Research and Development Organization indigenously developed enhanced 122 caliber rocket for multi-barrel rocket launchers remains a technological marvel gathering dust. Designed as a direct superior replacement for the aging Russian Grad rockets in the Indian Army's arsenal, the system has cleared every trial milestone, yet it still lacks a firm order from the service it was built to empower. The rocket, a collaborative triumph of Pune-based Armament Research and Development Establishment and High Energy Materials Research Laboratory, with production backing from Nagpur's Economic Explosive Limited, promises a 40-kilometer strike range, improved lethality, and full compatibility with existing BM-21 Grad platforms. But as DRDO sources confide, the Army continues to prioritize licensed manufacturing of the legacy 122 Grad BM-21 ammunition by private vendors, leaving the homegrown upgrade on the sidelines. Next, manufacturing Hammer precision guided weapon in India. In a major step towards defense indigenization and strengthening India's air-to-ground strike capabilities, Bharat Electronics Limited and France's Safran Electronic and Defense have signed a joint venture cooperation agreement to manufacture the French-origin Hammer weapon system in India. The Hammer, short for Highly Agile Modular Munition Extended Range, is a combat-proven precision guided air-to-ground weapon known for its exceptional accuracy and modular design. It gained prominence during Operation Sindoor when the Indian Air Force successfully employed the weapon in precision strikes. Next, expanding M72 light machine gun. In a bold step towards enhancing India's indigenous small arms ecosystem, Bengaluru-based SSS Defense has officially launched the M72 f.56 by 45 light machine gun, a versatile gas-operated squad automatic weapon designed to deliver sustained suppressive fire in diverse combat environments. Built on the success of its Manohar 72 carbine variant, which secured a landmark 2,000 unit contract with the Uttar Pradesh Police earlier this year, the M72 LMG represents SSS Defense's latest contribution to the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, offering superior ergonomics, reliability, and modularity at a fraction of the cost of imported alternatives. Next, India and Oman solidified defense ties. India and Oman on Monday held the 13th Joint Military Cooperation Committee meeting in New Delhi, reaffirming commitment to deepen defense industrial cooperation with emphasis on joint development, technology sharing, and expanded production partnership. Defense Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh and Secretary General of Oman's Minister of Defense Mohammed bin Nasir bin Ali Al Zabi co-chaired the meeting. According to a statement released by the Ministry of Defense, the two sides reviewed the appreciated the robust defense cooperation between India and Oman and discussed ways to further strengthen bilateral engagements in various sectors. Next, ISRO to launch US communication satellite. ISRO would launch a US communication satellite using LVM-3 on a commercial basis next month, the space agency's chairman V. Narayanan said on Monday, delivering the keynote address on the occasion of 68th Annual Day celebrations of Indian Railway Institute of Signal Engineering and Telecommunication here. He also said the country's space program would be on par with any other advanced nation in terms of launches, satellite and others by 2040. Launch date is not yet decided. It will be next month. It's a communication satellite we are planning to launch. A commercial basis communication satellites we are going to launch in our LVM-3 vehicle, he told reporters. Next, co-developing hydrogen fuel cells. As the world races toward net zero battlefields, the Indian Navy is charting a dual-track path to decarbonize its wheels. Electric vehicles for peacetime logistics were chargers around. The hydrogen fuel cells as the frontline savior for gas-guzzling trucks in combat zones. In a strategic pivot, the force is courting private sector partners for co-development of rugged H2 tech, aiming to phase out fossil fuel behemoths by 2040 under the Army's Green Energy Roadmap. The sources reveal exploratory talks with firms like Tata Advanced Systems and Reliance New Energy, building on a 2024 MOU with Indian Oil Corporation Limited that delivered the Army's first hydrogen bus, proving the tech's mettle for heavy-duty hauls. Next, Uttam Mk2 ऐसा radar to begin testing for Tejas Mk2. The development of India's indigenous airborne radar ecosystem is set to advance significantly as the Electronics and Radar Development Establishment prepares to begin testing the Uttam Mk2 active electronically scanned array, that is ESA radar, the primary sensor for the upcoming Tejas Mk2 fighter jet, which is scheduled to begin flight tests in 2027. According to information, Uttam Mk2 is now a ground testing phase, marking a major milestone in India's effort to equip its fighter fleet with homegrown next-generation radar technologies. Next, can canards help Tejas Mk2 recover from negative G situations? Comment. The recent crash of the Tejas Mk1 during practice at the Dubai Air Show has sparked wide debate on aerodynamic margins, departure resistance and recovery characteristics of India's fighter platforms. While the court of inquiry will determine the exact cause, the accident has led many to ask whether the upcoming Tejas Mk2, which features a new close-coupled canard layout, would behave differently in a similar negative G upset. The short answer is that the addition of canards on Tejas Mk2 will significantly improve its ability to recover from such situations, through no aerodynamic additions can fully eliminate risk in extreme flight regimes. Negative G episodes are among the most demanding scenarios for any combat aircraft. When the nose is forced downward sharply, the aircraft transitions briefly into an inverted lift regime where its delta wing struggles to generate the stabilizing nose-up pitching moment required to return to controlled flight. In Tejas Mk1, this burden falls primarily on the elements of its pure delta wing, while the aircraft digital flight control laws compensate effectively under most conditions. The available control authority in the low speed, low dynamic pressure portion of a display maneuver is naturally limited. Next, why it's time for India to raise a dedicated Tejas demo team? Comment. The Indian Air Force Sarang helicopter team and Surya Kiran aerobatic squadron are world class, but every time a Tejas performs a vertical climb on a high alpha pass at Dubai, Bahrain, or Langkawi, the pilot in the cockpit is an IAF test pilot or squadron leader on temporary detachment. That is admirable patriotism. Yet it is also a lost commercial opportunity for a massive scale. A fighter jet is not sold by specifications on a brochure. It is sold by the roar of an afterburner at 200 feet, by the sight of a delta wing knife edging through the sky, and by the gasp of an Air Force chief watching a 9G turn that no other jet in the same price bracket can match. Rafale has the Rafale. Gripen has the Gripen demo. Su-35 has the Russian Knights in full state color schemes, and even the Korean FA-50 has a dedicated black Eagles jet painted in golden tiger stripes. Tejas, the only fighter India is seriously offering for export today, still borrows serving IAF pilots who have a war to prepare for. Next. Anti-submarine warfare vessels INS Mahe commissioned. The Indian Navy on Monday commissioned INS Mahe, the first of the Mahe class anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft, which is expected to boost its combat prowess. Army Chief General Upendra Trivedi was the chief guest here at the commissioning ceremony of INS Mahe, marking the new generation of indigenous shallow water combatants, sleek, swift, and resolutely Indian. Thank you.